Oh, okay. Now we're live.
There
Hello.
we are.
I'm sitting here checking out top fans, and Danny goes, we're after
Yeah.
8.
I'm sitting there wondering what she's got going on there.
I wasn't paying the clock no attention. Obviously, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty evident there.
All right, can you see that?
I think so.
Let me get this one back up.
All it does is allows us to see more of them at one time.
Yeah, I don't have to run it back as much, maybe.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way.
Oh,
don't
just want to stretch. Nice cool day outside today. Windy as all get out, but it was a cool day. Unless you're standing in the sun. Now, if you're standing in the sun, it was hot.
Yeah, I think top was 75, 76 degrees.
75, 76, and yeah, I don't know. Wind chill was down a little bit. So
early morning, it got down to what? The low temperature 50?
Oh, 50.
6 or 58?
I think it was 56 here this morning, and the wind was blowing like 18 miles an hour. So I didn't look to see what the
I have to do something right quick, or it's fixing to go.
Oh, our computer's fixing to update, guys. We got to stop and make sure this is.
Make sure it doesn't do it now.
Give us just a second.
Hopefully it won't do it. If it does, I'll have to redo. We'll have to wait on a restart. I don't know. I hadn't had this computer on in a while, and it always does a restart. And they're saying everything is echoing.
Well, we're actually in a different location. We're in the hallway of the camp, and it's probably ricocheting off these doors. You may have to open the door.
It could be.
Or some of the sound can get out of here.
That could be it.
That's probably it.
Yeah, the internet, I don't know if it works in the back, but live streams is a little bit, it gets a little...
You have a little bit of a lag time back there.
More lag.
Yeah, we don't really like that. People say it sounds fine to them, but...
Does Lucy act different in cool weather?
Lucy's just Lucy. She just gets a wild hair every now and then. She'll be laying around, and the next thing you know, like the hallway in the camp here is probably, 50 feet long, maybe? 40 or 50
30,
feet?
40, I don't know.
No, it's a good 40 or 50 feet here.
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, 16, 32, 48. It's 48 feet long. So, Lucy likes to run up and down one end of the hall, all the way into the living room, playing at night. And we have to stop her because she doesn't realize. And the floor's that vinyl flooring, and she slides on it.
She loves to play. We throw her way down. Well, we started it. We throw her toys down the hall.
This is true.
And so when we get tired, we're like, okay, stop. And she was, when I was setting this up, okay, that's, somebody changed their name. I forgot which one.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, one of our moderators changed their name, and I forgot who you were. His own for FR, whatever. I can't remember the original name, but anyway, I knew they changed it last week or two.
I didn't realize it.
But she was laying here at my feet a while ago, but if she'd have been Have, I would have let her stay. But she was trying to roll over on my feet and trying to get on the setup I have here, and she's trying to gnaw at my toes and all that. And I said, okay, you got to go in the pen.
Our Lake Mead wants to know, do you use any special soil for citrus in a planter? We don't. We just use our homemade soil that we make here. We mix a little Bacto in with it. We've shown the pot what we do in it in our citrus planters, and we just amend it, fertilize it, and make sure the pH is right. We don't buy anything any special, for it. But we took off and went to town first thing this morning early to get feed. I was going to get some fence posts, but got there and realized the company was out of the 6-inch wooden fence post. They said somebody came in and bought 300 units of the fence posts, and now they're about 2 to 3 weeks out, so I'm going to have to go somewhere else to get them. But we came back, and I spent all day building fence corners and hanging gates. And I am more slam out from dragging around heavy posts and we're trying to get fencing. You know, it's cool, and when it's cool and it's dry, you need to be doing fencing and stuff like that. The garden's all in. I am a little concerned, not for us, but I'm concerned for other people up north of us, because in April we know we've got two more major cold fronts coming in April, and I'm just hoping that it doesn't bite everybody north of us.
Somebody asked, do we buy organic feed? Your chicken feed
My chicken feed is non-GMO.
Oh, is it organic?
No, you can't get organic here.
Not at the, that's right.
Nobody here sells anything organic.
You probably could get it at Tractor Supply, but it'd be about 5 prices.
I've looked when we go in Tractor Supply, they don't even have it.
We could get it through Azure Standard, I guess.
Yes, we could get it through Azure Standard, but organic doesn't really mean anything when it comes to feed, as long as it's non-genetically modified. That's what we're looking for. And most of our chicken feed and stuff like that is non-GMO.
How do you fertilize citrus in your pots?
We just sprinkle it on top of the soil and water it in. I mean, tell them what it is first. It's a citrus. It's a citrus fertilizer.
And it's
but it's like Osmocote. It's a time-release fertilizer. Yeah. You sprinkle it on top of the pot, and every time you water it, it automatically releases a little bit into the soil.
And how are you doing?
I guess I'm doing okay. I mean, I worked all day today, and
they were asking about health-wise, because you did go to the doctor this week.
I did go to the doctor, and the doctor scoped me, and
you got to watch.
I got to watch the light go all through my insides and go all up in my bladder and everything. I got to look at all of it, and we're trying to make a decision about what procedure, if I have a procedure done, which one would be the best procedure to have done. So, it's like a month and a half out to get a chance to talk to. In other words, the place where we live out here, they don't do most of the procedures. We have to go to a major university somewhere, like in Mobile, Alabama, or New Orleans, or somewhere like that, to get these procedures done. And I have to wait a month or a month and a half to be able to just speak to a doctor even about whether I'm eligible to have these procedures done. So that's where we're at.
Somebody was asking when the knife show was, and I thought I might see if they had posted anything. It is April.
It's in April, I know that.
Either the first, it's not Easter weekend, so it will be the second or third weekend. I think it's the second weekend, but it might be the third, so I'm not sure. I'll find out next week.
Vicky Shelby says, Danny, we grow large, beautiful cauliflower and get no heads. What are we doing wrong? It could be if the plants are just too big. Lots of times, too much nitrogen will cause that. If you're getting too much nitrogen and the soil is too rich. Ours now, don't give up, because ours made big old giant plants, and for forever we didn't think they was going to do anything, and then all of a sudden overnight they just busted a big heads out.
Well, when they started curling in the middle, they made big plants.
Yeah.
And kept waiting, and I thought, Danny kept saying they're going to bolt. They were big enough. He goes, I think they're going to bolt. They're never going to make anything. And then all of a sudden they started curling a little bit, and he said, they gonna bolt. He just had it in his head.
Yeah, I thought it was too late. They just gonna bolt and go to seed, you know.
And then all of a sudden that head grew like overnight. Within 3 to 4 days of it closing like this, it had a nice head, and within 5 or 6 we were harvesting. So don't give up on it.
Don't give up on it yet.
Somebody wants to know, where did you get Bacto?
We get it at our local hardware store here in town. They carry plants and all kinds of fertilizers and feeds and all that kind of stuff, and they're a hardware store.
Okay, Rebecca said the knife show is April 17th and 18th here in Wiggins, Mississippi at the fairgrounds. So if anybody's interested, it'll be April 17th and 18th at the fairgrounds. It'll be Deep South Cutlery here in Wiggins. Danny and I'll be there. I guess the 18th will be a Saturday, so we'll probably go on a Saturday for a while. And Silver Run Coffee Crafters will have a booth there. I'm assuming you are still, she's in the process of doing a store, so I'm guessing she's going to have a booth there too with coffee.
JRAE6608 says the only place I can find Bacto is on Amazon.
Yeah, several of them said Amazon.
Well, our local places here carry it. I don't know.
Miss Shirley wants to know how to lower the pH in her garden beds.
If your pH is too high, put some sulfur in it. You can buy little 5-pound bags of sulfur and just sprinkle it in the beds. Don't overdo it now. Sprinkle it, give it a little time, test it, and if it's not enough, do some more.
Texas Chopper said, my little fig tree got a little frost bit. Any suggestions to help it out?
I don't know. I lost 2 fig trees this year already. I checked them a while ago. They're dead to the ground. The one I got from Mr. Buddy died back about a foot. So
it's coming back out.
It's coming. It's hard. It's not wanting to come back out, but it is.
And we lost. Which ones did we lose?
We lost the Pakistani mulberries that Miss Vicky sent. We lost them to the freeze because they're just not suitable for our climate here, I guess. And so there's no need even thinking about planting them here because everything not going to work.
That's the second or third time we've tried that.
Yeah, that's the second. It is the second or third.
We had some in Deep South and they didn't do anything. Well, no, technically we got some. And they did do some. It's a big tree, but it's not the Pakistani.
Yeah, we was told it was a Pakistani mulberry, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. It's something else.
Let's see where we're at. I lost track.
Let's see.
And somebody wants to know, what is Bacto?
Bacto is a potting soil that has red peat sage from Maryland and other good stuff in it. In other words, it don't have a bunch of junk in it.
All right, Lou. I hadn't seen you in a while, girl. She said prayers for the folks up her way. The wildfires were to the west of her and to the east in Carroll and Webster counties. I was looking at that yesterday. That looked like that was a lot of land because I told Danny that was huge. From what I heard yesterday, over 2,200 acres, and it's probably went up since then.
Pamela AB 4731 says, question, can asparagus and brassicas take a light frost 30 to 32 degrees? Yeah, it doesn't hurt them. Doesn't hurt them at all.
Mr. Ray wants to know, have you ever planted G90 sweet corn?
Yes, I planted G90 many years ago. It's actually a pretty good tasting sweet corn. It's a hybrid, but it's not an heirloom or anything like that. But I planted the G90. Many times have I planted the G90.
Why are the red bricks in the planter, Holler Lake Homestead?
The red bricks are in the planter because we had pots over the tomato plants when they was little, and the wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour, and it kept blowing my pots off down in the woods, so I went and gathered up the bricks and set them on top of the pots to hold them in place until the weather was over with, and I just haven't taken them out of the pot.
Debbie wants to know, did we see a fireball in our neck of the woods? We had one this week in our area. I don't think we saw any fireballs.
We don't
smoke one.
I don't even go outside at night unless I have to now. Once it warms up a little bit, I'll probably start doing the perimeter round again. Once the garden gets going good and the animals realize that it's there, I'll have to start doing the predator control again.
Miss Susie Q said her multiplying onions are dying after 6 years. Any suggestions?
Oh.
Maybe dig them up and replant the ones that are still alive.
Yeah.
I've done that several times.
Let them completely dry and then put them back in the ground.
let's see, Elks Hound says, do you feel there will be a climate lockdown due to gas shortages, and will it be worse than COVID?
Technically speaking, now, please understand what I'm saying here. There were no gas shortages. It's all a hoax right now because our fuel, we only get like 8% of our fuel from over there where the problem's happening at. So if you want to just use the word price gouging right now and scare tacticking, that's what they're doing. Now, can it lead to fuel shortages? Yes, it can lead to fuel shortages because if the war escalates and they have to have more fuel for the war, then we will be rationed back on fuel. And I can't tell you that it'll be worse than COVID, but it could be close to it. Let's put it that way. If the war escalates, which I hate to go ahead and say this, but the war is probably not going to end anytime soon. So, because these people over there, that's their life. They've fought since the beginning of time. To them, it's one day is no different than the other. And when you go against one of them, you might as well fight them all. And this thing is not going to go away, I don't believe. I think it's going to last for a pretty good while.
Will a frost hurt peas that are just popping through? Probably green peas.
A frost will not hurt the pea vines. A frost will, once they get blooms, yes, the frost will hurt the blooms and it will hurt the little peas, but it will not hurt the vines.
I am planting the blue Iroquois.
Iroquois.
I'll get it right. I'm trying to say it the way they were saying it. Iroquois corn. Any tips? We have clay soil, and I have to add soil and increase nitrogen. That's Shauna.
Shauna, you might want to, if you've got clay soil, you might want to add some gypsum to that clay soil because gypsum loosens up clay naturally. And it also helps to alkalinize the soil just a little bit and raise the pH up on it a little bit. That's usually what you do when you have a heavy clay soil.
Okay, Sherry wants to know, when will you be buying any sweet potato slips from Tater Man? What time of the year?
Probably, no. It probably... Matter of fact, probably next week I may contact him because it's plenty warm enough to plant them.
Where are you going to put them?
We've got a couple of rows up there. We don't have anything. I've already got so many in my house on a lot of travel.
You may not need any this
I may not need any more, but I do want to get some of the Dianes so that I can get, even if it's only 50, I would like to get some Dianes so I can get them.
1,000 this time.
No.
I'm still getting sweet potatoes that have not been processed.
We've got probably
200 or more.
Probably 5 to 10 5-gallon bucketfuls still that has not even been done nothing with.
Somebody got slack.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are we at? Do you think there will be a drought?
It is, Elks Hound, it is on the table. It depends on how this situation across the pond escalates. If it gets to be where it becomes worldwide, yes, it's more than likely there could be a draft again. And I don't know why people are freaking out. When I was young, everybody got drafted. You know, when you was 18, you had to sign up.
You didn't have to go.
You didn't have to always go.
It wasn't a draft. You had to sign up.
Well, it was when I was younger.
Yeah.
It was required of me to sign up when I got to be 18 years old. And I immediately signed up to go in the Navy SEALs right off the bat. I didn't even think about it. It's what I wanted to do. And I think everybody should be patriotic.
All right, where are we at? I bought some organic carrots. What makes them so bitter? This time of year.
Well, anytime a carrot, well, it depends on where they were grown, first of all. If they were grown in Mexico or southern Florida, it's warm. Anytime a carrot's grown in a warm climate, it will be bitter. Carrots that are grown during the winter months are usually sweet. Carrots that are grown in the summer months, like if you plant them now to harvest them in the summer, they will usually be bitter.
Let's see where we're at. I already have blue Stokes sweet potato slips in containers planted a month ago. They are growing like crazy. Danny's is crazy.
Danny's growing like nuts right now.
Where are we at with this? I keep losing track. Would love to get a muscadine plant. Looked at Gurney is kind of pricey.
I've got so many of them things. I gave Chris probably, I don't know, I probably gave Chris 30 or 40 of them. I've got several of them out here in pots. It's just them things. Once you ever get one vine and they start touching the ground, them suckers root like crazy.
On the bitter carrots, somebody said they're better cooked. They are. If they don't taste good raw, add a little bit of brown sugar to them and maybe some butter and throw them in the oven, kind of roast them with brown sugar and butter on them. And it'll give them a touch more sweet taste and you'll really like them. It's just kind of like roasting if you did potatoes or sweet potatoes or anything else. You can do carrots the same way, but some good butter and brown sugar helps. Do I want to know why the Dianes?
The Dianes took the place of, what's the one that I got from Mr. Al? I'm sitting there reading a comment and my mind went blank. The Evangelines. The Diane took the place of the Evangelines that were created at LSU University.
Same place.
The same place. The Diane is almost identical to the Evangeline. The Evangeline just doesn't hold up well in storage, and supposedly the Diane is better about holding up.
When can I plant Malabar spinach in Zone 10B? It probably would have grown all winter. You
could have planted it anytime.
As long as you keep it from just hard freezes, Malabar will grow all the time.
Yeah.
I went to order onion and sweet potato slips today from Hall's. All negative reviews for junk onions. Any recommendations? The ones we got this year from Hall's Tools are doing great. And we harvested 2 today.
We got 2 onions. I would show them to them.
They're on the back porch.
Let me show y'all what we harvested today.
But we did last year the ones we got from Hall's were awful. They did not do anything. They got a disease and they just kept dying back. So ever who he got them from, it wasn't his plants. He got them from somewhere else. They were awful. One year we got some from Dixondale that didn't do as well. And so that's why we went to Hall's. Hall's last year didn't do as well, but the ones we got this year did.
Late.
And they were too late too.
Yeah, they ship them to us till December.
And
so I have a video coming about that.
Just a little.
Here is the two that we harvested. I got to figure out where this is a different camera. But these are, they're probably 3.5.
My hands.
Yeah, they're big onion.
You know, they cover the part of my hand. That's how big they are. That's about what you would buy in the store for yellow onions.
Yeah,
about the size of them.
You can see they just keep going. Them things is probably 3 feet. The onion part's probably 3 feet long. So.
And the ones from Azure that I buy during the off season are about this big around, and we have some that are not quite that big, but they're close. They're getting close.
Yeah, these are really good onions this year, and I have a video coming up this coming week on these particular onions, explaining. In the video, I explain about zones, how that zoning doesn't work the way they have it figured, and about our area where we live at, what time of the year you must plant the onions in order to get onions like that. Because in my garden, I show a comparison of onions that were planted in December and onions that were planted at the second week of November.
All right, somebody asked something. How's the outdoor kitchen? Well, we haven't made any progress. It is usable and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not got the brick on it. So
Yeah, haven't got really boxes of bricks in.
this week we just been so busy with doctor's appointment, and then we had all kinds of other stuff playing catch up. We were trying to finish all the beds and the garden and everything planting.
Yeah, we've been planting a lot.
I think it's just a lot of update videos. Everything all week is gardening, I guess.
Yeah, right. Now, Darlene Ronda says, are they crying onions? No, these are not crying onions. These are very sweet. The only time you run into crying onions is when you plant white onions. When you plant the white onions,
Yeah,
they are,
hardly.
you just about cannot cut them things up. I mean, they will burn your eyes like crazy.
Now, we had a problem, Tamara, with the red onions too. But now here we got some big red onions.
Yeah.
But most of the time they stayed a little bit smaller than that. The red onions we got would get about here. They wouldn't get up to be the big, pretty ones.
Ronald Hagen says, how do you keep garlic bulbs from going bad? The number one thing is planting the right kind of garlic for your area. We have tried probably 10 to 15 different varieties of garlic down here where we live at.
We have a video somewhere back in the stash where we planted all
somewhere
that.
we have that video back there on Deep South Homestead. And what we have found out that the only garlic in our area in the Deep South here is the elephant garlic. And it's not really a garlic, it's more of a leek, but it is still a good garlic. It's the only one we have found that will keep in our humidity down here.
All right, dark or green muscadines, which are sweeter, the red ones.
The dark red ones are sweeter than the bronze ones to me.
Always. For whatever
Plus
reason.
the dark red ones have more anthocyanins in them.
They're better for you.
And they're better for you. And the Ross Veritals, all the good things that's in the purple and the red ones, that's not in the other ones.
Right. The scuppernong is sweeter. The white scuppernongs are the sweetest.
Yeah.
What we call a white.
We call it a white.
Bronze.
A bronze. We call it a bronze.
The bronze is actually what they make scuppernong wine with.
Some wines they do.
It is the actual scuppernong, and it has a sweet taste. The bronze ones are the best.
Ronald Hagen says, do you need to have well water tested? It depends on where you live at. It's always a good thing to have it tested. I mean, always is.
Somebody asked, did we get our well thing pump in?
No,
not yet.
It's supposed to be, if everything goes all right, it should be this next coming week, if everything goes well.
Alan said, I love the snake story in the well house, like the hymn. He touched me. Neath the load of chicken snake. Now he can no longer slither away. If you're singing it.
Oh.
Red ones make better jams and jellies. Yeah,
They do.
anything with some color probably does. I put a little portable fan on the counter that blows across the onion when I cut them. No tears, just pots of onions for years.
Oh, that works. I mean, yeah, you can do that, I guess.
I saved last year's orange tree, got all vines off it, and cut all the dead stuff. Tons of new growth and tons of blossoms. And it smells good. I'm in Plant City, Florida. Is there anything I should do?
Oh, no, just
maybe the fertilizer.
You might want to fertilize it because citrus trees are heavy feeders. They're very heavy feeders. Especially if they're blooming, they need a lot of phosphorus. And if you're in Florida, it may be illegal for you to buy phosphorus. It's kind of hard to... It used to be illegal. I don't know if it is now or not.
a chicken question. You mentioned that you don't use a really big feeder because they eat so much. How much do you feed your chickens per day?
I feed, let me put it this way. I have 6 hens and 1 rooster. I feed them 1 quart of feed a day, plus all the green stuff that I can harvest and throw in there, because it's every day we're throwing a ton of green stuff over in there.
And they get to meet the new rooster this week.
Oh, you do. You get to meet the new rooster this week.
And y'all gonna get a lot of Lucy. And I'm sorry if somebody don't like Lucy, but they're gonna get a lot of Lucy this week. She's
Probably
been in
so.
every video, I think, just about it, because not everyone, but quite a few. And so we took her fishing for the first time, so y'all gonna get to see her fish.
Yeah. Big Gatlin says, Danny, will you install the well pump? No, we have a well man coming to do all that. I have too much to do to be worried with trying to put something in that somebody else I can pay to do. Oh. Let's see. Danny, here's the Bart section. Says, Danny, I have a wild mulberry tree. Can I rye gray it? I don't. Bart, I don't know what you mean there when you says, can I don't know if you mean graft it or whatever. I mean, it can be grafted, but I'm not sure what you're air grafted. I bet he's talking about air grafting it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can air graft it.
How are the grapefruit trees doing? Blooming like crazy.
One of them's just not putting any leaves on.
It's got lots of blooms.
Lots of blooms, but it's just not putting any leaves on.
The other one has leaves and blooms. I'm not sure how many of them have taken yet, but we've had the front open, so pollinators are going in and out. That place smells so good. There's a lot of fruit on all those trees if they hold it.
Alan Deniston says, what are some of the health benefits of pecans? Can you grind them up and make a type of flour for pie crust and so? Pecans, if you took a handful of pecans every day, it's like taking a multivitamin. Now, they're a good laxative also, so be careful. They can be
likes Lucy.
They can be ground into, what is that we used to get from Danny and Leslie and them?
Pecan meal.
Pecan meal. You can grind them into pecan meal, and it makes a wonderful crust.
Yeah, everybody says we love Lucy. I need an I Love Lucy t-shirt with her face on it instead of Lucille Balls.
Yeah.
I have to talk to Carrie about designing an I Love Lucy t-shirt, and it'll have Lucy in the middle. But y'all will get to see quite a bit of her, because you've got a Lucy story. What was that you found? Tomatoes.
What?
Wasn't it the tomatoes? You had 10?
Oh, yeah.
And then there was something else. What else?
No, my oil filters.
No, there was something else you said.
Oh, no,
Yeah, the ceiling fan.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I had a ceiling fan. It was an old ceiling fan, but it was never really used much. And it kind of rusted a little bit, so I took it in the shop and I took it and cleaned it all up and sanded it all down. I repainted it an oil rub bronze to match everything in the house here, or on the back porch, should I say. And because I wanted to put it was an outside fan, and we wanted one on the back porch of the camp here because it's getting hot, and we wanted like a fan. So I repainted all the blades, and I repainted every part of that fan. But when I got ready to put it up, one of the blades was missing.
Well, no, he got everything put up, and he was up to the point of putting them blades on. And he come in and he says, I only got 4 blades.
I only got 4 blades. You're supposed to have 5, but one of them's gone.
And I said, are you sure it's not a 4-blade? He said, no, I've got all of them up there, and there's still a space for one. He said, I'm going back to the shop. I obviously missed one. He looked, half a day.
Half a day looking for one blade.
I went and looked through the shop. He said, I obviously didn't paint the 5th one. He said, I just don't know where it would be. He hunted and hunted and hunted. Find it. So we finally give up.
I told her, I said, well, we'll just use the lights on it right now, and I'll see what I can do about it later, you know. Well, was at the shop, and while I was inside the shop, I had to go to the bathroom. So I just stepped outside the shop to go to the bathroom. And I'm standing there going to the bathroom, and I look down from my shop in the weeds down from my shop, and I see something down there. I said, "What is that down there in them weeds?" And I walked down there, and there was my ceiling fan blade in the weeds, and it had been painted. And I looked at it, it was no, I said, at first I blamed Lucy. I said, well, that dadgum dog has come up here and got my fan blade and then drug it off down here in the woods. Well, I looked, I didn't see no teeth marks on it nowhere, nothing. How it got down there?
I think she did it because she's been messing with a lot of stuff.
If she did, she didn't scratch the paint with her teeth. You know, I mean,
it's funny. She's got to the stage of taking things and taking off with them and then dropping them and then walking off. Oh, she's in the terrible twos. She took the tomato plant.
She took one of my tomato plants and stole it. I found it laying off out in the yard out there. Then me and Chris changed the oil and everything I've got here.
Me and Chris were I said they are the nastiest, litteringest people I've ever seen. There was stuff all over the yard. And I'm like, why did they do that? They should have cleaned this mess up. And Danny come in. You know what
That dog, we had everything piled up so when garbage day come, we could put all the oil filters and all the oil jugs, stuff like that in the garbage to be hauled off. That dog went and got all of it and drug it off. And I don't know, I thought it got hauled away, and then I started to find it all over the yard.
This Lucy on Twilight.
Yeah. Elmer Walk says, why do y'all call your house the camp house? Well, all my life, I've lived in big, fine homes. And
it's got me going.
I am sick and tired of houses with sheetrock walls and the cookie cutter houses, the big, fine homes, you know, the several $100,000 homes. That's what I've lived in my whole life. That's not who I am. I love cabins and camps and stuff like that. So when I built this place that we're living in here now, you can see the wood on the walls here behind me. We call it's a camp. It is not a house. It is built like in the style of a camp like you would see on a river or a creek or back in the mountains or something like that. So we call it a camp house. There is no sheetrock in this house except one piece. And it's a piece of the waterproof sheetrock that's over the top of the shower in the master bath back there.
It needs to be fixed.
And I'm so aggravated I didn't even finish it. It's still purple.
Wanda's fixing to finish it because after 2 years, I've been telling him if he don't fix it, we're fixing to get on the bathroom. That's one of our next things.
It's one of our next things.
Staining all the doors here in the hallway and putting the frames up around them, and then the bathroom, finishing it, and the closet, and stuff in the kitchen's got to be done, and finishing the bathroom. It's got a couple of things.
Well, see, Linda says, question, can we buy phosphorus without nitrogen, or is it how it comes? Yes, I buy bags of phosphorus all the time. I mean, you can buy it. Now, you may have to get your local feed store to order it, but you can get it. Danny, this is Nadia. Danny, is fish emulsion okay for my orange tree? Yeah, fish emulsion is not going to hurt anything because it really, it's non-burning. It's not hardly anything. There's very little nitrogen in it at all.
Yeah, we don't need another puppy. Good Lord. We're doing good to learn this one. She is a peel. Wait till y'all see her with the fish this week.
Big Hair Barbie 1 says, we have a camp house, and I love it. Oh, I'm the same way.
It's very easy to be more laid back.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Atmosphere, I guess.
It's all about creating an atmosphere.
Danny and I can sit in here or sit in the room in here or sit outside, and I think we could sit for hours and just do nothing some days.
You could. That's the problem. When you create a place like this right here, you can come in and sit down, and before you know it, the whole day's gone. I mean, it's so comfortable to sit here and do nothing, and it's almost scary.
Mama Boots says I needed to try the bongo brew. I didn't think to ask Rebecca about that when I was there. We did go by Silver Run Coffee Crafters a couple of nights ago, and I did get some coffee, and Tim and Heidi got some. And I'll have to ask Rebecca about that. If she tell me if you have some, we could give another bongo brew away if you have more tonight.
If you're interested, Silver Run Coffee Crafters may be willing to make a deal with you.
Oh, that's right.
On some maple syrup, bartering for some coffee. If you have any you'd be interested in bartering them with. If you do, contact them, and maybe you can work out a deal. You can get you some coffee, and they can get them some
Rebecca's wanting a little bit of maple syrup. That's what we're trying to hook her with the source. All right, if anybody's got maple syrup up that way, he'll want to barter for coffee.
Let's see.
Anyone else's potted seeds flip off a rail today? No, but Danny's had some issues with his seeds he found. And it wasn't Lucy.
It wasn't Lucy this time. I walked out to Wanda's little greenhouse because I took and planted my white ochre seeds, and I planted some cantaloupe seeds in a Hoss tool tray. And I went out there. I didn't think anything about it. I went out there 3 or 4 days later to see if they'd come up, and I looked, and all my cute cantaloupe seeds were laying on top of the ground, and all my ochre seeds were laying up on top of all the ground everywhere. And I looked, and I said, "What in the?" And I got to looking at the little cantaloupe seeds, and they'd been eaten. And some of the ochre seeds had been eaten. And I said, it hit me. I said, a rat. A rat done come up in this here place and done dug up every one of my seeds. I told Wanda, I said, this explains why we're not having any luck with a lot of our seeds coming up. So I set some mouse traps, and I caught 2 mouses in her little greenhouse. And so far, I have not caught a third one. And now my okra is starting to pop and come up, and still don't have any cantaloupe up yet, but I replanted everything. So hopefully, we got rid of the mouse problem.
Okay. Someone says, are Jews welcome here? Yes, ma'am. Anybody that, as long as they obey the chat rules and stuff, don't get in trouble, everybody's welcome.
I don't see race, creed, color, none of that stuff. As long as you behave yourself, I don't care. We all bleed the same thing. We was talking to a lady in the urologist's office here a week or so ago.
Our kin. I told her we had the same grandmother.
She was an elderly black lady, and we were sitting there. We were cutting up with her.
My grandpa were kin. I'm gonna just say they were sisters.
We're all from the same era, and we had so much in common with her. I told her, I said, I don't know where all this stuff comes from about all this mess. One person should dislike the other person because of their color or creed or something like that. I'm like, God don't see none of that. All God sees is us as His children, you know, and that's the way I look at it.
Let's see, where are we at?
Gene Kinlan says, you need a good mouse or cat. Nope, we don't.
We got a mouse or dog.
We got a mouse or dog. We don't have a mouse or cat. We don't do cats. Our neighbors have cats, and that's enough for us.
All right, so Jeff must have answered her about something, getting in touch with him. I was looking, and I forgot to choose somebody for coffee, y'all. I'll choose somebody here in a little bit. I saw several people say they'd like the coffee, the bongo. They don't seem to have squirrels digging up their gardens.
SLGWIN1 says, Danny, didn't you once talk about liquid phosphorus like Golden Bloom something? Yes, we use a liquid phosphorus from Dr. Earth called
it's called Golden.
It's Golden Bloom, I believe.
But it's a white container with pink and black writing. I think it's pink and black.
Yeah.
It's got pink on it anyway, because they have several things that look similar, and it might even be called Golden Bloom. But this one it's liquid phosphorus.
Yes.
And it's a white container with pink and black on it.
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
And it's expensive. We bought a 5-gallon.
We still work on that. It takes us 3
It
years.
takes us 3 to 4 years to go through 5 gallons of it, but we bought a 5-gallon container. I think it's like $300 for that 5-gallon container.
Missy V Butterfly. Go out and come back in and see if it resets. Sometimes the video's skipping and stuff. It could be on either end. So just go out and come back in.
Let's see.
Big Hair Barbie. Why don't we just send Big Hair Barbie? I just like the name. You want some coffee? Send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com and tell me what your real name is, and please give me an address. I have people all the time send me an email and says, I won, thank you. And I'm going, where's the address? So I have to wait on them to send me an address, and some people don't see their emails very often. So please send me an address, Big Hair Barbie, and we will send you some bongo brew.
DY1JBB says, Danny, do you believe in the story that if you gently hit a tree, it will cause the tree to bloom? I don't give over to superstitions or anything like that, and I've never heard that, so I cannot answer that honestly. I don't think it would make any difference, but you never know. Darlene Wright says, 4th planting of garlic chives. The whole package is no good. Garlic chives is something that we can't kill. Them things, deep south, they
that's the normal, but now those little ones, I can't hardly keep alive.
That's like an onion chive. The little onion chives.
Call them garlic.
Well, there's garlic chives and there's onion chives. It's little.
Ones you've got it, we brought from deep south. They're big, wide.
They got a wide blade on them. You can't kill them things.
I love. They're easy. That's the easiest thing to grow.
Let's see. Farmall and Ford says, so far I've kept the squirrels out of my corn by hanging up squirrel hides. Well, if it works, I mean, do what you got to do.
All right, so somebody was asking about the best way to keep mosquitoes away from a new porch so I can enjoy it this summer.
Well, they make citronella candles you can burn. There is a mosquito plant that you can put there. We don't have that problem here yet. We didn't have no problem with mosquitoes last year at all, did we?
Mm-mm.
No. It's too dry. Mosquitoes.
We don't leave a lot of containers with water floating around, and also, so we don't really have a whole lot of problems.
Tim said last week's winter seeds should have received their Jimmy Red corn seeds today.
Yes, and we sent out the okra seeds. I hope everybody that got okra seeds got them this past week too. And Tim sent out the Jimmy Red corn. I can't remember who won, but maybe everybody got it. I hadn't gotten any emails.
Cajun Dog Farm says it's bad luck to be superstitious.
Does anyone else see Bigfoot in my video? Oh, that's Mr.
Oh, Mr. Mickey.
Did you see?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Rebecca, there's another Bigfoot story.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it before you mentioned it.
Lemongrass and geraniums. Yeah, I've got lemongrass that we got to plant, and then I've got geraniums on the back porch. That's two of my favorite things to have, whether you use them to have them around. Tambra says she saw the Bigfoot in it, Mr. Mickey. We are not planting beauty berries. Danny kills every beauty berry he can get his hands.
No. Don't you ever chop somebody's hands off if they put a beauty berry plant here.
We have thousands.
I have hundreds of thousands of them things. They're so invasive. They're like a yopon. I've got yopon trees 30 feet tall and that big around, and I'm sitting there with machines pushing them up, tearing that stuff down, trying to get it off the property. Them things are so invasive. That and popcorn trees. I'm trying to get rid of popcorn trees. I'm trying to get rid of tongue nuts. I mean, all this stuff. I hate anything that's invasive.
All right, if the screen is frozen, take and
Refresh it.
In the chat, tell them just to refresh, restart. There you go. Like your food garden's doing it.
Heidi Westgate says, when do you put okra in the ground? I've got my okra right now in little seed trays in the greenhouse. I used to plant them right straight in the soil. I don't do that anymore. I start mine off in little seed trays. That way I can pop the plugs out and put them in the garden. And all you got to do is look at my last year's videos on the white okra, and you will see, I'm telling you, that stuff, it works the best way we found to do it.
All right, Bongo Coffee is a coffee created by Silver Run Coffee Crafters. You'll see their name on here, or you can type in silverruncoffee.com, I think, and go to their website. They are a small coffee roasting company that live about 10 minutes from here. Good friends of ours.
Yeah.
They've got lots of different coffees, but Bongo is one of them. Yeah, they're just saying beauty berries keep mosquitoes away, but yeah,
why we don't have no mosquitoes is all the beauty berries around here. Now, beauty berries, I actually have a video talking about huckleberry trees. I show some beauty berry trees that are like 10 feet tall. You know, them things are just, they're monstrous around here.
What is a popcorn tree?
Well, it's a popcorn tree. I mean, it's invasive. Matter of fact, the forestry.
Has it got another name besides popcorn?
I don't know.
I know we've always called it a popcorn tree.
That's all we called as a popcorn tree.
Didn't you say they had outlawed it? Planting it?
The forestry department is trying to make it illegal to have them on your property, and they have to be taken down. So,
it's a Chinese. You would know it's Chinese.
Oh, I know it's from China. There ain't no doubt about that.
It's a Chinese tallow, a fast-growing invasive tree from Asia, also known as a popcorn tree for its white popcorn-like seeds and valued ornamentally for its colorful fall leaves.
Yeah.
It's a pain.
It's a pain. Them things, oh my goodness. The roots on them.
They're not edible.
When I push the roots up, the roots on one tree will go 10 to 12 feet out from that tree. Big old giant root will just run way out and it's hard as all get out to push them things up.
Yeah, everybody's coming up with that too now.
Yeah, they're a tallow tree.
What fertilizer do you recommend for citrus?
I just use citrus. No, I use a citrus fertilizer for the tree. You can get it at Walmart.
Yeah.
You can get it at Amazon or wherever. You can get it in an Osmocote. But it's just a regular citrus fertilizer. Will Be Cool says, popcorn trees are good for honeybees. They probably are. But I still don't like them. Now, Cajun Dog Farms, it is not a China ball tree.
That's another one.
That's another one we have on the property here. There's a China ball tree. It's totally different than the popcorn tree.
Yeah, we don't like those either.
Now the China ball tree makes excellent firewood. I have cut it. We've got some probably 12, 14 inches in diameter. When I push one of them up, I cut them up for firewood and they bust so easy. Man, they bust good. They burn good.
Well, most of trees are very invasive usually.
Yes.
At Deep South, and we kept most everything mowed and picked up, and we didn't have too many problems, but occasionally we'd get one pop up somewhere.
We've got one on the property we live on now, and I've threatened to take it down.
And it's the only one we got.
Wanda said she would chop my hand off if I did.
There's some things he has to leave. Let's see. SLGWIN. I can't even read some of this. It gets kind of hard. It says, where am I? I have 4 to 5 year swamp water. Can it be used still or tossed? I don't even know what swamp water is, so I don't have a clue.
Let's see here. Are we?
What would keep plum trees from blooming? Ours are over 5 years old and have never bloomed.
Maybe it's just not time yet. We had some that went over 5 years before they bloomed.
The honeysuckle is usually invasive, but we have very little there.
We don't hardly have any honeysuckle at all.
And
no.
Used to when I was kids, it was
everywhere. Yeah. And cedar trees in some places are invasive. Now, they're not here because cedar trees likes a very alkaline soil, and the soil here is acidic, so we don't have a problem with it. And if you live out in Texas and places like that, then the mesquite trees out there. It depends on where you live at in the country as to which, every place of the country has a tree that's invasive.
All right. So it is about time for prayer request. Miss Lippy's busy trying to get her fisherman husband and grandson dried out because it was windy and kept splashing water all over his boat. So she's not on here tonight. Allison, I think, was going to, what did she say, tell me, a St. Patrick's Day parade earlier, so I know she's not on here. But all our other moderators, I think, are hanging in.
Let's see here. Nancy CYP1568 says, Danny, you mentioned a 4-degree tilt of the planet. Does that mean that the sun is tracking farther north, south, east, or west? It's not tracking any one particular direction. When we say it's a tilt, it's like at 23.5 degrees now. And what's happening is the earth is actually wobbling. It's not like it's just tilting and staying in one place. It's actually wobbling to and fro. And there's a verse in the Bible, I believe it's in Isaiah. It's Isaiah or Jeremiah 1. That talks about the earth will be tossed to and fro. It'll wobble, in other words. And a lot of your scholars now are saying that we're actually in that particular phase of prophecy right now because the earth is wobbling. And it's making the sun, at one point the sun was coming up way further south than where it should have, and it was tracking way further north than it should have. Now, Wanda and I looked the other day, it's done, in just a month, it's done moved way north of where it was. So, it's not tracking in any one particular place. The earth is wobbling.
Yeah, Mark, we're going to remember Mark. One of our
moderators, Mark Krager's little grandniece, was involved in a house fire and lost her life to it, so we definitely want to remember that. Nana Farm says, son is getting married this week. Prayers for a God-centered union. Well, you're getting married now, that's the end, you know that. We always tell everybody, when you get married, that's the beginning of the end.
Stay that way if you can.
Yeah.
But we all have issues, but we pray for these young people as they get married and try to help them lead that type of life if they won't get out.
Miss Fran's starting chemo on Monday.
Pray for Miss Starla.
Tim nicely says the earth wobble will affect the jet streams. Yes, it will. The jet streams will be going further south. Let's see here. Leela Woodbay says, pray for Hinton's liver and kidney transplants. We'll be concerned about the platelets being too low.
Remember the military. Remember the world. Our country.
What we're involved in right now across the water is scriptural, to be honest with you. Okay, let me see if we can go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we thank you so much for your leadership and your guidance in our life, and for making yourself known, and for giving us the peace and the grace and the understanding that you do on a daily basis, Father. Thank you for your guidance in our life, and thank you for just loving us. You don't have to love us, but you see fit, and you chose us, and you love us. You created us. We're part of your creation, and we appreciate that. And as part of your creation, sometimes there's things that goes on with us that we have no control over. One of them, sometimes our health. Things happens to our health, and we get diseases. We get things that happen to us. Our body begins to break down, And Father, those are times that we need you, and we cry out tonight to you for healing for our bodies. For everyone in the chat here who's mentioned the prayer request for their bodies, Lord, we're praying for healing for their bodies. And if it's not a time for healing, Father, then we pray that grace would be granted to deal with whatever comes their way as they deal with it. And Father, some people have lost loved ones, and there's a void in their life now. And we pray that you'll step in, Father, and help them to be able to fill that void. You never get over losing someone. You just learn to live with it. And you learn to replace it with good memories and things like that. And so we're praying for them also, Lord. And Father, there are those that have said they're starting chemo and different things, transplants, back pains, neck pains. I've seen all of it going through the chats. And Father, I'm praying for everybody. And the ones that didn't even mention their request tonight, because they think maybe it's a little too private. We pray for them also. We lift up our military, the men and the women who put their lives on the line to keep us free to be able to sit here tonight and be able to do this. I may not agree with what my government does, but they're still my government. And I'm still required by my Heavenly Father to pray for them, even though I don't agree with them. And that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm praying for the leadership of our country. Even though there's many wicked things that goes on in our country, it's still the best place in the world to live. And I pray for a good outcome for what's going on across the water, although I know that it's prophetic and there's probably not much I can do about it, but I am going to pray that your will be done in it, Father. We love you and ask that you forgive us of where we failed you. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen. Oh, man.
And too, y'all remember Danny, as the next few weeks he has to make this decision on, his health and where he's going with his procedure and how he'll go with that. So it looks like it's still another
month.
If one procedure before he even knows what if he's accepted or not, is over a month off.
So it's over a month.
And
right.
The other two he could have done pretty quick. So he just needs peace about which way to go. And then my daughter had messaged today and asked for prayers for decisions they have to make. So I'll keep them in prayer too.
It's just that when I have the procedure done, I'll be out of commission for several weeks. And I'm just trying to get as much done as I can get done, so that if I do have to go through one of these invasive procedures, then while I'm down, things will be taken care of.
And actually, he's had a better week than he's had in a long time. So
I have.
This week has actually been really good. So we're not trying to rock the boat right now.
I'm actually praying that the Lord will heal me rather than doctors,
Mm-hmm.
Susie Q said, "Come to Houston, Danny."
Well, actually, he's not having any kidney stones removed. He had that done
kidney stone
a couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago, I had the kidney stone removed.
He does still have a stone in his bladder, but it's small.
It's very small.
And he's got gravel in his bladder, so that's what he's been passing is that stuff. So they're not worried about that. He still has the staghorn, which is a major surgery. We're not even dealing with that yet. But this is different. So
this is a different type of surgery that I've got to have, and
all right. So, do you have a tip? He didn't earlier, so I don't know if he's got a tip now.
Well, there's a couple of things that come to mind. A lot of people I've noticed in the chat tonight, a lot of people are talking about their planting, There's one, Auntie M right now is right in line with what she says. Are we expecting another frost or freeze here in the South? I know personally, we have 2 more cold fronts coming. Now, if you live anywhere the 33rd parallel and north, you probably gonna have some snow and hard freezes coming, and some wind chill, pretty cold wind chills coming. But if you're down in the guys, please understand the deep south is way down here. You know,
We're not in North Mississippi.
We're not in Central Mississippi. Central Mississippi's north to us. When we talk about south, we're talking about anything from like Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Jacksonville, Florida, Houston, Texas. That's the deep south.
And over into Louisiana and down into Texas.
Below New Orleans or something. That's the deep south.
And in Texas, you'd be below Houston.
You'd be below Houston.
Down below Houston.
You get to southern Arizona and stuff like that. That's the deep south. You get above that, you're north to us. I mean,
everybody's north.
Everybody's north, and people will be up in Virginia calling, "We're in the south," and y'all are way north. If you're in Arkansas and Missouri, you're not in the south. You're in the middle part of the United States. That is not south. I don't know whoever come up with that stuff. But
us Southerners are a little prejudiced about the south.
But I will say this. When I was in Virginia, I was in West Virginia. I've been all over Virginia. And I'm not gonna say why, but I was all over Virginia. And the people in Virginia actually have a more southern accent than we do.
Exactly. Some of Kentucky.
And I have been in parts of Kentucky that had more of a southern accent than we do here. I've been in part of the Appalachian mountain train
Ron said, laugh out loud, Yankee Southerners,
Southerners, yeah. Some of the Appalachian people have more of a slang than we do,
We're about 30 miles from the Gulf.
Yeah, how close to the Gulf are we? 30 miles and you'll be in the water. Let's put it that way.
Because a little over, with traffic, it takes about 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're sitting on the Gulf.
And you're sitting about 35, 40 minutes, you're right.
You're sitting at the water.
You're sitting at the world's largest man-made beach.
Yeah. Bringing in sand all the time.
Oh, man. It is funny. But yeah, you're going to have some, be cautious. Just be cautious because the cold weather is not over. The polar vortex over the northern part of the world up there has split. And when that thing splits like that, sometimes it takes a week for it to make it down here to us. And we still have 2 more of them coming, and it's, plus we have a super El Nino forming out in the Pacific Ocean, which means our jet stream is going to come further south and it's going to bring really bad weather about 30 miles north of us through here and north.
Jeff Jackson says, what do you mean from Virginia? And Live in Florida says, has to have Spanish moss in your live oaks.
Yep, you're right.
I'm 2 miles from the Gulf.
Yeah. Now that's true Southern.
Now we don't eat shrimp, and
I don't eat.
I like shrimp, but in the past, since that Gulf, what would they call it? What happened?
When Horizon had in the
Horizon.
Oh, yeah, when Verizon. Oh, it was Horizon.
Oh, it's Horizon.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oil spill in the Gulf. That ain't went away.
Yeah.
I want everybody to believe that that's gone away. It has not gone away.
They just keep it clean. I was down there just a couple of 3 months after that. Actually, it was on the Alabama side of it. And as you walked on the beach, they were going along scooping stuff up.
Yep.
And even the next year, they would go through and run this machine across the sand and scoop things up and keep going. And I don't know how they do it now, but they're still tar balls. Didn't you and I go somewhere and then we saw some? I don't forgot now.
We were somewhere. Now we saw. Yes.
And we were like, yeah. It's still. So, yeah, we don't eat shrimp from them.
We do not eat anything from the Mississippi Gulf or any Gulf.
No.
Anything in the Gulf. A whole Gulf is polluted.
When is our last frost date?
I I don't even know because I don't go by none of that. I go by the signs of the weather when I see what's going on with the weather. That's how I pretty much know about when I'm going to plant and what I'm going to plant. I don't actually know what our actual frost date is. Let's see here. Sylvia says, I'm about an hour north of Panama City.
All right, now, Vicky said, I don't eat or swim in it. Right now, all the coast, it's not just Mississippi. I saw yesterday.
It's all the Gulf.
All the Gulf, and some up on the East Coast and some on the West Coast, but mainly the Gulf has warnings not to get in the water.
Yeah.
It is contaminated right now. And then we had I don't think it got as far as us, but somewhere in the South was a possible stay in your house warning because the wind from smoke and different things coming.
Yeah.
They were going to tell people to shelter in place because of that, because you didn't need to be outside breathing the air. It did not reach us, but I can't remember where it was in the area. So,
let's see here.
Yeah, the oil settled in the mud. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. You don't want to be walking out in that mess. All right. Let's see.
I'm with Melinda. Melinda says, I wouldn't put my toe in the Gulf. 65 years here, and so many have died. We have seen so many people from flesh-eating bacteria and all that kind of stuff that's went out in the Gulf and things like that. Now, when I was a kid, yes, I fished at the Gulf. We floundered, we crabbed, and we fished for red snappers and trout and all that kind of stuff. But now, since they put all them casinos in and stuff like that, you couldn't feed me nothing from down there. I wouldn't have it.
Yeah, we're under red flag warnings today too, as far as burns. The whole state of Mississippi. So what was your tip? Something to do with cold.
Yeah, I just told people if you're going to be planting, just be aware that there's at least two more major, when I say major, for some parts of the United States, it's going to be heavy snow and blizzard type weather. There's at least two more major cold fronts coming in the United States.
Now, we live down far enough, I don't think ours is going to get that.
I don't think it's going to make it down to us.
But it has snowed in April.
It has snowed here on April the 2nd before. Yes, it has.
All right, so more or less just be aware of the conditions and don't plant too early. Keep your plants inside or be ready to cover them. That's what we did. We put ours out early knowing we were taking a chance.
Yeah.
And so we had to bust it and cover a lot of stuff and do a lot of fancy covering, I guess you could say.
We have.
And it was worth it. We got up a little bit ahead of things and didn't lose too much. But you have to be prepared to lose some.
And well, people get antsy this time of the year. I'm one of them.
Every
year when it comes time to plant, and I'm like ready to go, and then I have ways of being able to look and see what the weather's going to be doing during the summer months and stuff like that. And I make my decisions off of that. This is going to be one hot summer. And I made my mind up. We're planting a particular kind of tomato this year. We're planting as much stuff as early as we can, because when the heat comes, there's not going to be any way I can get out there in that heat and do what I need to do. It's just going to be too hot.
We got a baby whining. She needs to go outside.
I got a dog in here whining. She needs to go TT. So we're going to have to get off of here, guys, and go see if we can't take her out and let her go to the bathroom. So
she said, we've been running our mouth long enough. We need to take care of her.
Yeah. Y'all have a blessed evening, and